Hello, welcome back to the garden. Today is Tuesday the 16th of May and a pretty exciting day in the calendar for me because today is the day that I've decided that we're going to be putting the tomato plants and some of my cucumbers in their final growing positions in the polytunnel. I've already spent a couple of hours in the garden this morning pottering around and doing a mow on the woodland grass. So I'm so pleased with that because I've managed to get a really thick layer of grass clippings mixed in with some leaves down on the third of my new raised bed. So I'm so pleased with that. The two behind me have already had a mulch, and then once I do my next mow, maybe down the front of the garden next week, it can go over here on these, and I'm so pleased with that. There's probably quite a few of you wondering why I'm not participating in No Mow May, and it's really just because this year I need to spend a lot of time building the soil in these raised beds so that early autumn and early next year I can hopefully start using these to grow crops. And I'm so lucky because here in the woodland garden, as well as grass, I have probably more than half the area where the grass is so much habitat and lovely food for wildlife. I've got herb robert growing, I've got creeping buttercup, there's bluebells, there's other things. And do you know what, actually there is a new flower that I've never seen before growing in, some in the lawn and some on the side. It's a yellow one, and I thought it was just a yellow the creeping buttercup actually, but it's something else. So if you know what it is, do let me know, because it's something I've never seen before. If I know what it is, I can read up about it and see how it's beneficial to my garden and the wildlife around. But anyway, that is enough of me talking about what I've been up to this morning. I'm super pleased with how this area of the garden is progressing, but now it's all about those tomatoes. But anyway, that's enough of me going on about what I've been up to this morning. Let's get on to the really exciting bit of getting these tomatoes planted. But before I do that, I need to go and harvest some compost. So I'm going to go and harvest some compost and I'll meet you in the polytunnel in a moment. We're up in the polytunnel now, and it is so hot up here. You're actually stood just outside the door because my camera can't take it when it's this hot. But looking at the screen, it looks like it's quite dark in here, but actually it's really sunny and I can hardly see anything. So hopefully you can see okay. I've just managed to bring up my compost. So I managed to harvest probably about 15 litres of compost, and the rest of this 30 litre pot is shop bought compost. I'm so pleased that this year I've managed to still be able to harvest some compost for my plant growing, which is absolutely great. And hopefully next year I probably need to buy maybe 1 or 2 bags of compost in rather than the 3 or 4 that I've had this year. So really pleased with that. As well as my tomatoes that I am going to be planting today, I've also got some cucumbers. There are 2 varieties that we're going to be planting in the ground or in their final growing positions today. But I have another variety called Diva that I've started from seed, but they've only just got their first leaves come through. So it's going to be a little while before they're ready to go in the ground. The reason that I am growing 3 varieties is because I was only planning on growing 1, which were called Telegraph. I sowed them, I don't know, about a month ago, and not even one of those germinated. I'm not sure if they were out of date seed. I picked them up from somewhere else, so I'm not sure, but I suddenly panicked thinking I'm not going to have any to grow this year and I really want to grow them. So a friend gave me one, and they gave me this one here, which is called Crystal Lemon Cucumber. I believe this cucumber is grows like in a ball. Never tried it before, but I have heard quite a few different people that have grown it that have had amazing results and absolutely love it. I believe the seed came from Real Seed. They encourage you on that website to save seeds if possible. So I'll definitely be trying to save some seeds this year. We'll see, but very excited about that. And the next variety that I've got are called Pachysandra. Now these Pachysandras, they're looking pretty good, but they were actually bought in from a shop, and that was when I bought the Divas, and I was panicking that I wouldn't have any to grow. So these ones here are Pachysandra. The only reason I've got that variety is because that was the only variety that they had in the shop. These are an F1 and they grow mini cucumbers, which is pretty cool. But if I save the seeds from these, they're not going to come true, and possibly, you know, these are going to also cross-pollinate with that crystal lemon. So who knows, if I do save the crystal lemon one, it might actually be a mix between the Pachantra and the lemon crystal one. But anyway, these two varieties are mini ones, which is going to be pretty cool. So they're going to be going out in the ground today, and then hopefully when those divas catch up, maybe in another couple of weeks or so, they can also get put in, possibly down here and some down in the greenhouse as well. But while we're here, I thought I'd just show you that I've also got some melons. So I'll come a little bit closer to the camera for you. That one there is a Sugar Baby watermelon, and this one here, again, I bought, oh, he dropped it then. I bought this from the shop, and it's a honey bun hybrid. So again, it's an F1 variety, so, you know, it's not going to come true from seed. And that one's looking okay. I was in the garden centre the other day wandering around. It was £2. I saw it and thought, yes, definitely going to pick it up and give it a go. I had planned on growing quite a few melons as well this year, but poor germination again. So hopefully this one will catch up in a little while, because it is not even got its, you know, first true leaves come through. So there you go. That is those. And again, I mean, I haven't really got enough room for all of these to grow in the polytunnel anyway. I'm just going to have to get another polytunnel, aren't I? I'm working on it, definitely. Anyway, so these are the cucumbers that I'm going to be planting out today. And the reason, if you're wondering why I've got all this compost when I'm just putting them in the ground, they are going to be grown in halos. I absolutely love using tomato halos for tomatoes and cucumbers. I think as well these would be amazing for squash and other things. So I happen to have loads of these, so definitely going to be giving these a go for squash outdoors as well. Definitely worth it. If you don't know what a halo is, they're something that I think is amazing to grow my tomatoes in, but I actually did a how to use video a good few years ago now, which I'll put above in the cards now. I fully go through how they work, and then I'll also put that down below in the description as well. But last year when I sowed, when I planted out my tomatoes, I filmed that as well, so I also go into detail about how to use these in that. So I'll put that above in the cards as well and down below in the description. If you don't have time to watch those videos, I'll be pretty quick and give you an explanation now. Basically, with a halo, you've got a circle in the middle, and you've got some little spikes here which have holes in. You put this on the ground, the spikes go in the holes, and then you plant your tomato in the middle, or you plant your cucumber, whatever, in the middle. Fill it up to the top with compost, and then every time you water that plant, you water it in the middle reservoir here, and then it slowly irrigates the roots of the plants, and it's meant to be just super duper. They worked really well down in my allotment, and if you're not able to get to your garden every day, really good for that, because they just slowly release that water rather than one big gush of water that evaporates really quickly. They're also amazing to use in grow bags, because obviously a grow bag is only like that deep, isn't it? So it will go into the grow bag, and then you can just add a little bit of extra compost up the base of your tomato plant, which will then stimulate, you know, roots and things to grow up that stem as well. So I absolutely love them, and a friend of mine got rid of all of theirs last year, I think it was, and gave them to me. So I've got absolutely loads of them today. I think last year I only grew 6 tomatoes up the side, but what I'm going to be doing today is going for 8 on each side, and then the middle bit is just going to be cucumbers. But I've only got 3 cucumbers to plant today, so they'll be going up the middle, and then at the very back where the peas are, maybe I will put some more cucumbers there when those divas are ready to plant out. I think rather than kind of going into all the details of me showing you how to do it, I'll just explain now that what I'm going to be doing is planting them out in their final position today using string as their support. I've used bamboo canes in the past, and to be honest, it's just a bit fiddly. So I just use this twine here. This is actually, it's a nylon twine, I believe, but it's left over from my husband's diving days. So it's super strong. I think it's like a diving line or something. But what is great about this stuff is that the stuff that I've got left over from last year, it has faded a little bit, but it's actually just as strong. So it's probably UV stabilised. And I suppose if you're using it for diving, it's like a lifeline rope or something, you probably need it to be quite strong so it doesn't like skag or like, you know, get caught on a rock or something. The first thing I'm going to do is get the cucumbers in, I think. I've got a lovely gap here where my strawberries were. So I had quite a lot of strawberry plants up here in pots. I've still got a few, but I've actually taken them down now to the patio because there's room in a couple of old cold frames that I've got that I'm hoping that my tomato, the bush varieties, will go in. But at the moment it's empty. So I thought I'll take them down there. They'll be able to get much more light than they do up here. And there is a lovely gap there now, so they should do okay. The Yellow Delights are all in and in their final growing positions. I'm so excited to see how they do this year because they are saved seed from 2019. So we'll see how they do. I am used to growing them like probably, I don't know, this is my 5th year in a row that I've grown Yellow Delight, but this is the first time from saved seed. So I know what they should look like. So it'd be interesting to see if they come out true or possibly they cross-pollinated with something in the polytunnel down at the allotment when I saved them. I don't know. But yeah, always exciting when you save your own seeds. And next year, I would love to say that I'm growing tomatoes from saved seeds in homemade compost. That would be pretty good. Having a plant that you can save the seed from and grow it without even spending any money is amazing, isn't it? So I'm just starting off on this side now. This is where the Gardener's Delight will go, and then I think that'll be it for the day. I still have the bush tomatoes that I need to get planted up, but I'm running out of time, so getting them, these ones in the ground, is what I need to do today. It looks really shady on the camera. I was just looking a moment ago, but honestly, it's quite bright out here and still very, very hot. And that is the other side done. I've only actually planted out 6 of the Gardener's Delight because 2 of them here haven't gone in yet because I've run out of this pink diving string. And actually, I think, although I was using it up before, I'm gonna see if I can buy some more online. It might be really expensive, I don't know, but it is so good. And the stuff that I used last year is still in really good condition. So for some twine that I can reuse almost like, you know, well, not indefinitely, but definitely 2 years, then it's really worth having a look at. I've got about 9 plants left over. They're for a friend that is hopefully, I think that they're planning on growing these outside. So hopefully they can take those tomorrow. And then I've got my patio tomatoes there. I thought I had 6, so I went out and bought 4 more pots because I had 2 already. But there is about 9 there, so I think I'm gonna have to go and buy some new pots later today. But also, I think I'm actually probably going to buy some tomato compost for them because it will just be a quick and easy way to get them potted on really quickly, because they really do need going in the ground. Well, they need going in the pot as soon as possible because they're starting to flower, and the mini belt, they're so stocky that I just, you know, need to get them in now. So hopefully that'll be something that I can maybe do tomorrow afternoon, because then I can just forget about the tomatoes. They're all where they need to be, and then yeah, I can just worry about everything else that I need to do for the rest of the season. I really hope that you've enjoyed watching today's episode. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I didn't go into loads of details on how I plant my tomatoes, how I use the tomato halos, and other information like that. So if you are interested, like I said, down below in the description, there will be some videos that will go into kind of those more finer details if you're not sure. When we do these videos, And especially, you know, when I make these videos, we do the same things year in, year out. So we don't want to go into too many details because plenty of you already know how to do that. So if you don't, then obviously just down below in the description. I really though hope that you have enjoyed today's video. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, ring the bell to be notified of all of my latest videos. As ever, YouTube have some videos up now on the screen that they think you'll like. So please go ahead and watch those, and I will catch up with you in the next video. Bye.